Hey friends, we've got something really special to invite you to, a free event, the Power of Pleasure Summit hosted by your favorites, Dr. Will and myself. We want you to stop settling for predictable intimacy and kickstart your sexiest year yet. We've got a live event February 11th through the 12th, 2 days, 16 sexperts, and it's all for free.
Let's kick Valentine's to the curb and just make the whole year sexier. You're going to learn how connection is the gateway to vitality, safety, and erotic power. You're also going to learn how to revive the spark in long-term relationships so that you could be having more intimacy, more fun, and more sex. And you're even going to learn about how to give a little lap dance to reawaken play, power, and embodied joy.
There is going to be a free replay period, so even if you can't join us live, you will have a chance to binge to your heart's delight. All of this is online, so you can tune in from anywhere in the world. Just go to sexreimagined.com/power-of-pleasure. We'll see you there.
What if real healing didn't come from understanding your past, but from actually inhabiting your body? Our guest today, Stevie Wright, helps people rewire their nervous systems, access pleasure, and reclaim their power through deep embodiment and somatic work. I'm Dr. Willow Brown. I'm here with my co-host, Leah Piper. We are Sex Reimagined, and we are so deeply grateful for all your amazing likes, shares, and subscribes. So keep them coming. We truly appreciate your amazing energy.
So let's tune in, turn on, and fall in love with Stevie.
Welcome to the Sex Reimagined podcast, where sex is shame-free and pleasure-forward. Let's get into the show.
Welcome to
the show.
Thanks, you guys. Thanks for having me.
Tell us a little bit about your journey and how you got started. For all of our listeners out there, I found Stevie because she's a breathwork coach. And I was like, I want an expert on the show talking about breathwork and the transformation that it provides. I personally feel like all the medicine we need is inside of our bodies, and breath is the foundation of that. And so I wanted to bring Stevie on to just share with us, what you have found and what you've experienced and what you've seen with clients transform and change. But how did you get onto this path?
But real quick, I also want to add, I want to know how breath relates to sex, because this is a sexuality podcast. So I really want those two worlds to bridge, not just about health, but like, what's it doing for us in the bedroom? So yeah, Stevie, what's your Genesis story?
Well, there's many paths I could, and many entry points, but I think I'll start with, I got into this work. I got into this work actually with health and wellness. That was my entry point in. I became a health coach. I was really inspired by that world, and at the time, got my certification, started seeing clients, and pretty early on in my client journey, these women were coming to me and, telling me some really deep trauma, telling me some, some things that they'd experienced and some things that they'd been experiencing for a long time that I had no idea how to help them with. And so I'm in this container with them and I'm like, oh, like here, I don't know, here's a recipe. Like I just had no idea how to help them with what they were sharing. Like after we built some trust, they were really bringing me some tender things. I eventually was kind of like, I don't want to do health and wellness. I really they're feeling safe with me to bring some of these things. I want to help them with this stuff. I want to know how to support someone in these areas, in these deeper places, in these real tender places. That was about 7 years ago that I just started going on my own process of my own healing somatically, my own training of somatic embodiment, of working with the body in healing trauma and healing patterns and healing belief systems. And it's been such a beautiful experience into my own, how my inner workings are and how the body is really where it all lives. It's the body is the subconscious. Our memories are stored here. Our feelings are stored here. And so when you know how to work with the body, work with the emotions and clear charge, the transformation actually happens very fast. And it's very noticeable. And I can't even tell you how many times I've heard Like I've been to therapy. I've talked about it. I've gone to I've been to so many therapists, and like, it's great, but I don't feel like I'm actually seeing shifts in my life. And now this is nothing against therapy. Therapy is wonderful, and I think it's needed. But I believe that therapy gives you a real cognitive understanding of your origin story, which we need. But then there comes the part where you actually are then needing to process the energy so that you could show up differently in your life and experience different things. So that's kind of has been my personal experience. It's how I hold clients now. And breathwork is one of the tools that I use in my work. But yeah, it's really all about working with getting someone into their body, learning how to build safety in the body, and learning how to build the resource and the capacity to bring up and feel the things that actually got trapped way back then, and process them and actually feel them through.
Yeah, Will and I are often known as saying the issues are in the tissues. Yeah. And it's wonderful to grok, that I love that word, grok, to really understand how things are the way they are and why you're blocked the way you are and the stories that are behind them. But like you said, it only takes you so far. It's your body is kind of keeping the score. Your body is the one that is holding the memory. And if you can't access that, like, it's key to access that in order to have like a whole feeling of wholeness and healing and all of that. So it sounds like you're really focused on trauma.
I'm trauma informed. I'm not specifically working with severe PTSD or anything like that. I'm trauma informed. I really mostly focus on belief system and how a lot of times people come to me and they're like, I'm in the same relationship but different person. I'm in the same friendship, pattern. Different person. Yeah, I'm in the same pattern in my life that I just can't seem to break. What is it that I'm not seeing? And so I'm really working with belief system and how there is stagnant and congregated trapped energy stuck at that belief system.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
Which is such a huge issue inside of people's intimacy sector of their life. It's like what has people staying in relationships far too long, stuck in, reattracting the same patterns over and over with different people. And a lot of it does get stored down in the first and second chakras. So it's like, and I feel like with doing, deeper breathing and really starting to oxygenate these places in your bodies that don't otherwise get a lot of oxygenation or energy to them, the issues just stay stuck down there, and you could talk the story out to death, but until you actually move it from the soma, from the cellular tissue, it doesn't shift. So I'm curious what you've seen like open up for your clients now. Do you have some clients who are coming in and they do share with you sexual trauma, that kind of thing over time? Yeah. And what kind of openings and shifts have you seen with them?
Well, I would say, even to go back to your original, the connection point, your question, Leah, I find that specifically with the breath and with the body and with the sexual energy, a lot of my clients experience a ton of numb. Yeah. They experience a ton of dissociation. And so they're not feeling much. And so sex has become a thing they do, but not really a pleasurable and really engaging experience. That they can have for themselves. They don't know that it can be that way. So when we work with the breath and work with, like you were saying, first chakra, it's actually very boring at first. It's not a big like pop
climatic, right?
No, it is not
entering the world of catharsis quite yet.
No. So it's actually, and I give that context. Like it's pretty likely you're not going to have a big pop right away. We've got a mountain of numb to clear. We've got a mountain of dissociation to clear, and I say it can be pretty agonizing to feel nothing. Yeah. And to give that context so that they know, like, even though you're feeling nothing, I promise you're draining the swamp.
Yeah. Nice.
I promise
don't get
you,
discouraged. You're headed in the right direction.
I promise you, like the swamp is clearing, the fog is lifting, and over time, and unfortunately, I can't say how long that's going to be. They'll be like, well, but how long? I'm like, I don't know, and I can't, I can't give you a timeline. But what I can promise is that this modality does work. Your body does know how to feel, and it's as slowly and steady as we build safety. Your body's going to learn how to sensitize again, and hallelujah when it does.
I think what might help also just give our audience a visual, it's interesting when you watch puppies and babies breathe because they do full diaphragmatic breathing. Their bellies puff up and then they come in, they puff up. So they're actually breathing with the lower sector of their lungs, not just the higher parts of the lungs. Yeah. And as we age and we get stressed out, our breathing becomes much more shallow.
Yeah.
As we're trying to manage stress and we're holding our breath and we're gripping tight and we're just trying to like power through life, our breath is so shallow as adults. So when we can drop in and get those fuller breaths and really expand the lower lungs, the purification process is quite profound. The ability to control our cortisol starts to drop because we're controlling our adrenaline from getting all hyped up. Our adrenals have a chance to settle when we're kind of doing that full breath and we're really getting oxygen to our lower lungs. I think that's part of an important impact, and it can kind of give people a visual of the type of breathing they need to start settling into so that they can have more breath control instead of just having it become either very rapid or very shallow.
Yeah. And also there's one of my teachers, I love how she says it. She says, her name is Stacey Matulis. She says there's a gold mine underneath the fog. Mm-hmm. There's a gold mine. And so when you actually get the fog to lift, what you find is feeling, and then essence, life force, connection to self. And so that's how I kind of get them to, I'm like, no, but just trust, there's something yummy in there. There's something good in there. We're going towards something. And there's, when you actually are able to connect with life force and essence and you're sensitized, then your sexual experience becomes a completely different thing.
So true.
Yeah.
I feel like every time I do breath work, I get super turned on. Like I start having all kinds of tingling and energy down in my yoni, and I get tetany all over my body, particularly like my mouth and my face and my fingers and all the way down into my toes. And as somebody who doesn't have like amazing circulation, it's so cool to feel how those deeper, more powerful breath, long, periods of them can absolutely bring so much more sensation to places in your body that don't otherwise get a lot of circulation to them.
Yeah.
No, but I also find that some people get tetany and it's very painful. It's uncomfortable. It's a trauma release symptom. It's like their body's kind of coming out of freeze. It's like in this wrestling stage between freeze and freedom. Exactly. And so I'm curious what you have to say about hyperventilation, because oftentimes tetany comes from, I believe it's too much exhale and not enough inhale, or is it the opposite, not enough inhale and too much exhale?
Probably more inhale than exhale, but
I would say more inhale than exhale. And so one of the things you're going to do is you're going to want to slow them down, have them open their eyes, look around the room, name things they see, name colors, look at that nice plant, or look at
get them into the present moment.
Cute dog. Yeah. You just want to slow them down so that they actually can still be processing the energy.
What do you say to because there's lots of breathing techniques that actually encourage hyperventilation to get some sort of cathartic release. I've heard of it in Kundalini yoga and in other breath classes where people are doing this hyperventilation breathing, I think, to create a state change or try to have some sort of transcendent experience. What is your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, there's different modalities for different intentions. So if you like a lot of those breathings are taking you into those higher chakras, into a higher state of being, which has its purpose and is beautiful. And also sometimes those, there's also like what we're talking about, these lower chakras that are much slower. And if we're only getting this is an issue in the new age world. Like if we're only getting to the higher chakras and getting into higher vibrations, but actually we have a fuck pile of trauma and stagnant
Yeah.
energy in the root, then that's why you're going to notice things like, but I'm in a high vibration. I'm in a heightened state,
Yeah.
but why am I still
Miserable.
in scarcity,
Yeah, right.
in fear?
Yeah.
Why am I constantly anxious if I'm in that high vibe state? Because we're actually not working with these lower energies, and vice versa. Like if you're really in these lower places and you're in your feelings, you're in your emotions, but then you're not connecting with God, you're not actually letting it rise up and fuel you, then it can get a little dense. It can get a little like I like to call it like soupy.
Yeah.
Mm.
You know, you can get a little soupy and get a little over watery.
Yeah.
You know, and
a little heavy.
So we need both.
Yeah.
Well, I was just going to say, I've watched some of your, your breathwork classes and courses, Stevie, and I like how you blend the two, and anytime I go to a breathwork event or workshop or something, it's that blending of the two, like the long, slow, deep, the holds, and the stronger, more powerful, where you're bringing a ton of oxygen into the body, like mixed all together, with some really amazing music. It can be, you can really have that experience of your breath being your own medicine. It's really cool.
Absolutely. And I'm a playlist girly. It's one of my gifts this lifetime, so that's very important to me.
You should do a free download on your website of a great playlist.
That's a good idea.
Like
that is a really good idea.
Email and they get a cool playlist from you.
Totally. That's such a good idea.
Magnet. I would definitely get it.
Okay, good to know. Good to know, because I freaking am so good at a playlist. That's a great idea. Maybe I'll do that.
I need a new Tantra playlist for my massages, by the way.
You go.
So
you got it.
Hook me up.
Sure.
That would be great.
Get right on it.
Yeah, I need Spotify, by the way.
Okay.
My preferred app for that.
Yeah, totally. And, Tantra teaches so many different breath modalities and ways of moving the breath and energy through your body. A lot of that, can entail working the pelvic floor simultaneously, bringing energy up into the pineal gland, all of that kind of work. But I like how breath work, it can incorporate that, but generally it doesn't. Generally, it's more just like these long, slow, and then faster breaths, like a variation of them all, through what I've experienced. And then also through what I teach and know and have practiced a lot more around the tantric breath work. I feel like there's just such a beautiful synergy to both, It's like one can get you, like anytime I sit down for a meditation and I'm like, ooh, there's a busy mind here. There's no way I'm going to sit in any kind of silence or stillness. Like I have to either do the more powerful breath work to clear my mind or chant. I have to do something to get into like longer, slower, deeper breaths, making some sound in order to empty the mind and empty the heart enough, because in Chinese medicine, the mind and the heart are paired together. So we call it the Shen. And so to calm the Shen enough, because there's so many things going on in life all the time. So it's just so powerful to feel that experience, so I can drop deeper into that meditation. I'm curious, like with your clients, what you've seen shift for them as far as being able to find more peace, more stillness inside, more quieting of the mind, and how that translates to not only their sex lives, but all of their lives, all sectors of life.
I was just going to say real quick, like when I was hearing you say that, I do that too, but it's interesting because my mental framework is different. Mine goes, I got to give my brain a job to do so that it can get out of the loop that I'm in.
Oh.
So then I'll play with a breath pattern, or I'll give myself a visualization. I'll focus on my senses as I deepen my breath or as I slow it down, like whatever's needed to get out of the loop. I think of it as my job. My brain needs a job in order to find the peace that I'm seeking. I think it's really interesting personality wise. Like whatever it's like almost like the same method, but
the same thing.
Route, right?
To the same top of the mountain. But different idea around it.
Right.
That's funny.
Great. To answer your question, Willow, I have a membership called the Breath Channel, and it's all these. There's over 150, 200 somatic and breathwork embodiment practices they're all anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes. I wanted to make it something that's very easily integratable into your routine. But a lot of things that I hear is I feel steady in a way I haven't felt in my entire life. I feel grounded. I feel like a better mom. I feel like a better wife. I'm able to work with my emotions without making some big story that they're wrong.
Mhm.
I'm actually able to hold myself in a way that's meaningful, that I actually can feel better. So there's a lot around even like abundance. Like they feel like as it's 5 years old. Some of my people have been in for 5 years and they've really created a long standing routine and practice with it. So it's, I have people saying that they're a completely different person than when they entered and who they are now. And it's all due to learning how to drop into the body, drop your roots, ground, and work with the sensations inside. A lot of, again, like I talked about, like the resensitizing, clearing the numb and the fog. And that, it affects every area of your life. If there's a completely different experience to walking around numb than there is to walking around present and in your body and able to feel, because I've experienced both. I know what it's like to be really numb.
Well, if I could bridge this to sex, because I think, in my seminars, gosh, every seminar, there was always a handful of couples who were struggling in their sex life. Usually they were parents, and they might have kids under the age of 5, and they're stressed out. He's missing sex. He feels abandoned. He feels rejected. She feels overwhelmed. She doesn't feel connected to her Shakti. Being in her body has been stressful because it gives and 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 it gives. It's keeping these babies alive, literally. And plus all your attention is attuned to their little body sensations and needs. And then you have a partner who you want to make happy, but it's like, I cannot deal with one more fucking person's needs, like, and now where is my ability to even feel me? Because I'm kind of clobbered with feeling everything around me. So I either kind of go numb and push forward, or I disassociate. And both is like, I don't have access. And so why would I want to have sex? The fucking kitchen needs to be cleaned.
Yeah.
Why would I want to have sex? I got to give somebody a bath, including myself.
Yeah.
So it's like, and it's so painful because obviously I can feel for the woman and I can feel for the guy too.
Totally.
It's like so much, and this is a heterosexual dynamic, so much of the way that he loves is through this like physical connection a lot for a lot of men. And so what I'm hearing you say is like to be able to have a meditation or breathing exercise, something that's efficient, to kind of drop in, like you said, to like drain the swamp, move from numbness to sensation, gives this, I'm thinking of women right now, like a chance to catch up, literally a chance to catch her breath, so that she can realize that sex is for her. It's not just to get it off the list or to feel like you're a good wife or you're somehow taking care of your partner. It's like, no, it's a way that I take care of myself. It's a way that I find my heart. It's a way that I share my heart. In addition to fucking give me some pleasure. Like I need an orgasm too to reset. And sometimes that orgasm feels elusive. And breathing is what makes orgasms even more elusive in sex if you're holding your breath all the time, which we tend to do when we're bracing for impact.
Totally. And also, like, to your point, there's something about when they when they sensitize, when they have that practice with themselves, when they're getting in their body, they can actually get inspired and have the upward rising energy of, I want to have sex. Like, ooh, what's this? I want to. I'm actually turned on.
Yeah.
And so it's so important.
Let's take a quick break.
Hey guys, what would it be like if you could last 10 times longer when you're having sex?
We are going to teach you how to gain massive confidence as a lover, all without performance anxiety, gimmicks, or prescription.
This course is perfect for you if you've ever been mortified by a sexual encounter that ended way too early.
Or if you've ever avoided intimacy out of fear that you won't last as long as your lover desires. Or maybe you long to give your partner multiple orgasms but can't last long enough to make that a reality.
Well, good news, we've got your back, and it's in our course, Last 10 Times Longer. Go to sexreimagine.com/last dash the number 10 X dash longer.
And for all of our favorite listeners out there, we are giving you a discount, 20% off, y'all. Just put in podcast 20, all caps, podcast 20, to get your 20% off of this phenomenal course that you're going to want to review more than once.
We cannot wait to see you inside this course. Plus, don't forget, we always got tons of bonuses. See you there. So tell us a little bit about who you work with. I'm making up a story that it's mostly women. You work with men?
I do. I mostly work with women, but I do work with men and I work with couples.
Okay, that was going to be my follow-up question is, tell us about your work with couples.
I love couples work. I love it so much. I think because my husband and I got so much out of our couples container with our somatic therapist, and I find that couples work has both of the individuals healing go like on turbo speed. Because when I'm working with someone individually, yes, they're showing me like what's coming up. Yes, they're showing me their patterns, but they're often like telling me about it. And sometimes we'll get into the energy and we can really get something done. Though when you're with your partner, all of your core wounds are just lit up right there in real time. And so it's like, oh, perfect. Okay, I can exactly see the shape of the thing, and so I actually find that the work goes much faster when you are, because the way that I hold it, and I work with couples by myself, but my husband and I also work with couples together. The way we hold it is, yes, this is for you, for the couple, but what are the unmet childhood needs? What are the childhood wounds that are just being projected and plastered all over your partner?
Right.
And how the relationship actually becomes like I call my husband Patrick my secret weapon, because the way that his witness on me, that my witness on him, on each other's stuff, and how we hold each other and bring empathy and understanding, there's nothing I've done that's more healing for myself individually than my partnership with him.
That's so interesting. If I can just interject for a second, because my husband is doing a relationship coaching certification program right now. And one of the pieces he's studying is with Terry Real. And he talks about couples work and says, I always do the couples work together. I don't separate them because I need that partner to witness their partner's vulnerability, the childhood work that we're doing, the transference that happens between the two of them. If the partner isn't bearing witness to what's happening when we're doing a piece of work with their spouse, then they're missing the boat of unity. It's not so much as we're so individualistic during this time in our human experience that we're missing out on the actual partnership dynamic, and that it's so much more about us than it is about either one. So if you're doing the work with just one person and that partner isn't seen, then you're missing the opportunity for us. Does that resonate with what you're talking about?
Oh, yeah, completely. Okay. And so what I find is, if they're having a real thing that they just can't seem to get out of, and I work with, let's say I'm working with her defense mechanism that pisses him off, that he cannot stand. If I can get her into that tender place and actually get to the unmet need of what's motivating the defense mechanism, motivating the closure, and then he can witness and go, oh,
that's what this is holding. Like, that's what's buried underneath this chaos.
That's what that is.
Yeah,
that's what that is. Oh, and so then he can understand what's happening when she's in that place, and he can actually support her, and she can receive his masculine leadership to help guide her out of it, instead of just meeting the defense mechanism and there you are.
Yeah.
So, and vice versa for her to understand why he bites our head off during X, Y, and Z, that actually this other thing is being triggered and awakened.
Right.
Oh, okay, sweetheart. Is that, are we in that place right now? Like, let me support you. Is it about this? Like, it's a game changer. It's a completely,
Yeah.
Yeah. So
save
often,
relationships.
Yeah. So often what we experience in relationships where we're just having a pattern ping pong match is like underneath it all is like, yeah, this need that actually never ever got met in childhood or beyond. And that I feel like that is one of the most beautiful things about partnership. I really believe that there is a point at which you can't just keep doing the healing work on your own. You actually need that reflection. You need that mirror. You need to be able to go deep with one person that can be your guru in the most annoying ways sometimes and the most beautiful ways in other times.
Yeah. And actually you said something like the unmet need that never got met. Like a lot of what I talk to my couples about and hold them in is you both have unmet childhood needs that your partner is not responsible for. And actually it is literally impossible for them to meet it. Mm-hmm. And they don't like it sometimes, but but it's their job to meet that need. And it's actually like, nope, it's not.
It's yours. Yeah.
It's your
reparenting of yourself to yourself.
Mm-hmm. It's your responsibility to meet that unmet need. He or she cannot, it's not possible for them to meet it. And once you know how to meet it yourself, then if there's anything left over that you could use from them, then we can communicate that. Great. Then we can ask for that support. But it's going to come up empty. You're going to feel unfulfilled and you're going to stay in the trigger if you're expecting them to meet that unmet childhood need.
Plus, I think it creates too much mind reading expectation of like, if you're the one that's supposed to like heal me for this thing, then you're going to let me down because you're not always going to catch it.
There's so much expectation on it.
Yeah. And then we're back into caregiver mode. And that is like the unsexiest thing in the world is being in caregiver mode. Yeah. And so, but witness me, you know, please witness me, deeply understand me, grok me, get it. Like the obstacle that I'm in, the thing that I'm wrestling with, the mistakes I make when I'm projecting and transferring shit on you. Yes. Be there unconditionally for me as I reparent this part of myself, you know, that's got a bit of a gap in it. And then knowing how to fill that up and sharing that experience is just so profound. Having someone to share that with is so just meaningful, you know? So it's lovely to do it with someone, though. If you don't have someone, think about who you get to show up as if you start this work now. You don't need a partner to bring this all up in you. You can get a head start so that you're an even better person at partnership when that partner does come into your life.
Yeah, and maybe for right now, like you're a space holder, you're the one who's holding you in your container is that person and offers you their witness and their loving reflection, and like nothing you can do will make my love go away, you know, and holding it in that context as they you know are calling in their partner.
Yeah. I think you can even like imagine that beloved in time and space that's coming into your life and have them sit with you just as an energetic field, you know, so they can really feel like we have a coherence, and that vibration of coherence could be drawing that person in closer into your life to have that meeting place in real time. But in the meantime, you can bond with that person just out there in time and space. I know that might be a little wooey, but
I think
we like
gorgeous.
Being wooey.
It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
Tell us about like how the container that you hold for clients and like how you walk them through the changing of their beliefs, you know, the stepping into the person that they really want to be and the way that they want to feel. Like, what is the length of time generally? How do you start with them? Is it always different? I'm sure it's curated to each individual person, but you've got a little format or a little formula that you like to run people through.
Yeah. Most everyone I work with, they're going to start with 6 months. I have clients who I've been with for 4 years because we love it and we do life together, and that's pretty common to extend. And I feel so grateful for my client relationship. They're very, I mean, the basis that I hold the whole container around is trust. and building of our connection, of our trust and safety, so that they, I'm a safe person in their life that they can bring anything to. When I start with anyone, I'm really getting clear on where are you at? What are these pesky patterns that keep coming up and up and up, no matter how much mindset work you do around them? I'm understanding what is it you want? Where do you want to be? If you could wave a magic wand, where do you want to be? And it actually starts very simply. So, I could do, a first session with someone or 2 sessions with them. And just based on what they're telling me about where they are in their life, I'll kind of be reading in between the lines and listening between the lines of catching a moment, catching a feeling, catching a way they're seeing themselves. And that'll be the entry point. And so we'll do, a somatic dissolve where we're going into the body, and I'm asking something like, okay, so when's the first time you felt like your voice didn't matter? Or when's the first time you felt like your needs are not going to be met? Like you're going to have to do it on your own. And the body is so wise. Every single time it gives us a memory, it gives us a feeling, it gives us a knowing, it gives us a picture. And this work is actually, there are some key tools that I use for safety and titration and things like that, but it's actually very creative. It's very creative. So I might get into a memory with someone, and we're bringing in allies, we're bringing in, their childhood dog, we're bringing in all these different things. And it's just helping them tolerate the feeling that got trapped back then that actually created the belief. So how that works is, we come to the world and we are just pure expression, life force, sensation, essence, right? But through painful experiences, through, trauma events, we lose access to that life force. We lose access to it because the witness, the part of us that can notice, take a bird's eye view, notice what's happening, it gets turned off. It gets turned off because the feeling that happened was actually too big for our little body. Mm-hmm. So, and also it was too big for us to feel on our own. We actually needed an adult, a parent, to help us feel our feelings through. It's more likely often than not that we didn't get that. Mm-hmm. And so that feeling that was meant to keep moving, emotion, energy and motion, it gets trapped. It gets stuck. And you can imagine it gets stuck as these little knots all over the body, these little pockets of frozen energy. Whatever consciousness the feeling happened at is the consciousness
that you have to meet it with.
That we're trapped at.
Yeah.
So here we are in our 30s, 40s, 50s walking around, but in this area, when it comes to relationship or when it comes to how I see myself, I have a consciousness of a 7-year-old, actually. I have a consciousness of my 11-year-old.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. So like, even though I'm 45 years old, I might be in a moment face to face with somebody where my frozen part is like my 7-year-old. So I'm showing up as like a 7-year-old.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And so what we do is we'll go back into that pocket and we give it warmth and witness and welcoming and love. And eventually what starts to happen is that frozen pocket starts to thaw. It starts to, there's anger, there's sadness, there's grief, there's shame, feel. And then essence, life force.
It's parts work. Like any kind of somatic work, I feel like is parts work because we have to get into those knots. We have to get into those pockets, and there's different parts in all of those different pockets of the body, wherever it's being stored.
Yeah. And then you have, after, we can do that 100 times in a container, right? So you now have access to some of you that was literally trapped before. Mm-hmm. So, people get down on themselves and it's like, I've worked so hard on changing this thing. I've tried so much to change this pattern, but it's just not shifting. Well, you know what? It's okay. You've actually been working at half mass. Like you actually don't even have all of your energy available to create a new belief, to move past this. And so what we're doing is we're liberating the stuck energy. We're liberating the life force. So you have more of yourself online to live your life.
Mm-hmm. Let's take a quick break.
Hey guys, what would it be like if you could last 10 times longer when you're having sex?
We are going to teach you how to gain massive confidence as a lover, all without performance anxiety, gimmicks, or prescription.
This course is perfect for you if you've ever been mortified by a sexual encounter that ended way too early.
Or if you've ever avoided intimacy out of fear that you won't last as long as your lover desires. Or maybe you long to give your partner multiple orgasms but can't last long enough to make that a reality.
Well, good news, we've got your back, and it's in our course, Last 10 Times Longer. Go to sexreimagine.com/last dash the number 10 X dash longer.
And for all of our favorite listeners out there, we are giving you a discount, 20% off, y'all. Just put in podcast 20, all caps, podcast 20 to get your 20% off of this phenomenal course that you're going to want to review more than once.
The link is in the show notes. We cannot wait to see you inside this course. Plus, don't forget, we always got tons of bonuses. See you there.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, I do a lot of somatic emotional release, which is very similar to what you're talking about. IFS is similar too, in that you're working with parts of the body, but I find it to be a little bit more specific. Like they've got these sort of archetypes that they work with. Whereas what I'm hearing you speak to is more similar to the somatic emotional release that I learned with Upledger, like through the cranial sacral world, which is a lot more just kind of open and loose and like, let's just discover, let's explore. I'm not going to put any kind of like, this is the saboteur or any of these sort of archetypes on it, but like, what is it for you? Oh, it's, it's that age, it's that time in your life where you lost your puppy or whatever, were abused by a parent or whatever happened at that time and what that little one needs, so I'm curious for me, when I'm doing this work with people, it pretty much always takes us into childhood, like almost 100% of the time. Do you find that as well? Yeah.
So we'll go into a 7-year-old memory or an 11-year-old memory or et cetera. And we'll do that dissolve. We'll welcome the feelings. We'll ground back into reality. And then I ask something like, let's imagine you're opening up your timeline to the left, right? And let's pull that 7-year-old, let's pull her into real time so that she can come out of the memory, out of that experience. It was like that then. It's not like it. That's not how it is now. So pull her into real time presence, into adult thinking, adult consciousness. And so now how does your adult want to move forward with the situation?
I like how you call it a dissolve. We got to do this dissolve like that. I'm going to use that. And then I like the whole, like, let's pull it into a different timeline. Yeah. So both of those, like going from, from childhood and moving it into the other timeline is really valuable because it helps that one who got frozen in time actually grow and evolve and become the next age, right?
Yes.
It's like, it's so fascinating. I feel like, this somatic emotional release, IFS, all these different, what you're doing, it's like sort of, it's not new on the healing scene. It's been around for a long time, but I feel like it's getting a kind of like when I started teaching yoga, I was 19. And then, people were like, what's yoga? And now everyone knows yoga. I feel like everyone's is a huge rise in the healing world right now. And it's so incredibly important in sexual healing because again, down there in that first and second chakra is where so much of these freezes leading to numbness, leading to pain, leading to discomfort, not wanting to have sex, get stored. And in the pelvic floor work that I do, when I do somatic emotional release work inside of a pelvic floor, be them male or female, it is always just like such an enormous transformation, such a huge game changer in just such a short amount of time. It's so powerful to witness the difference that can happen in someone's belief system about themselves, about pleasure, about, even just the shame and the guilt that people have that they carry in their bodies around being in pleasure, all the time. there's something wrong with that. We've been
Totally.
taught, and we've been passed that on from generation to generation. So, I mean, the work that you're doing, Stevie, is really epigenetic healing, right? You're breaking down and breaking chains of generations and probably lifetimes of, I need to be in suffering in order to have value, or I need to carry this pain in my body in order to feel, my body. I mean,
Or
what
I
if
need-
we all go ahead?
Well, I was just going to say, or I need to hold on to this belief system to stay connected with my family.
Yeah, totally.
Like I need to hold on
or
to
my
this.
partner.
Yes. Like I need to hold on to this if I'm going to stay in connection with those I love. And so there's also a reclaiming of the inner authority of, what do I actually believe? Oh, this is something interesting that just came through that feels important to share. Like I work with a woman who is from India, and what we talked about over the years is, she's like, there's parts of my culture that I actually don't agree with, but it would feel like such a betrayal to her family, to her culture, to not agree with these dogmas, these dogmatic, principles.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, as a white woman, I'm really honoring like what's her truth for her culture, and how can I help her find her truth? But it's such an interesting conversation, because it's like, what am I actually choosing from my empowered choice, from my own authority, even if it's the culture and the way things are for this country, for this, for this religion. Like, what do I choose to believe? Like, is this actually what I want to choose to believe in my life, or is there something else here?
Yeah, it's like the difference between like, our conditioned response, our culture, our neighborhood, our parents, our religion, all that stuff has so much meaning behind it. And when you start to create more agency for yourself, you decide, is that even true for me?
Yeah.
Is that, and then what's the consequence if I decide it's not?
Yeah,
right.
Totally.
Exactly. What's the consequence? Yeah. Because there will be one.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. And how do I live with that? How do I deal with that?
Yes.
I feel like I definitely directly experienced that, breaking away from my childhood, conditioning and parents and trauma and all that stuff. You have to kind of reinvent yourself. It's really liberating.
And then hope that your family still accepts you and loves you.
Yeah.
I mean, and there definitely are certain cultures and certain religious backgrounds where there's going to be so much more of those frozen pockets to dissolve. So that just comes with what we choose, or, as a soul, what we choose to step into in this life.
I don't know if you guys ever feel, I don't know if you guys ever feel like this, but sometimes like I'll be doing this, I'll be in a session with someone and it's like, gets real witchy and magical. And I'm like, I work at Hogwarts. Like my job is Hogwarts.
I feel that way all the time.
And sometimes you have to give your clients tools to deal with the muggles that are in their life. You start to realize, oh, okay, I'm now in Hogwarts as well.
And once you cross over, you can't go back. Once
unsee.
you feel the magic,
You can't unsee.
No.
What's the difference, in someone who is practicing breath work consistently versus someone who's doing it sporadically?
I would say just an overall sort of feeling of being in their body, grounded versus ungrounded. A big one I would say is those who have a really consistent practice, they have enough resource and capacity to handle stress in a different way.
Yeah.
So it's not that stress isn't going to come. It's not that, life is life.
Right.
Though they have a different capacity. We're not always going to be in rest and digest. It's actually not the human experience, right? So, but they have a different capacity to manage and actually still feel safe and somewhat grounded and able to meet their life from a steady place. Whereas if it's kind of that sporadic place, it's you don't have as much capacity and you get lifted really easily.
Yeah, I imagine you're in pattern less, and when you go into pattern, you get out of it more quickly. Gives you more resource to track yourself.
It's easier to get into presence. I'm trying to do it every morning.
Awesome.
before I get into the movement portion of the morning. I like to get up before the sun. Like I like to do the breath work portion before the sun rises. Then I'm like, okay, I'm on point. I'm having a winning day. So Stevie, she has a great freebie, and then your membership is only $15 a month, so it's priced super well. So if anyone is like, I want to try doing breath work every day, go check out her
affordable,
membership.
That's like the cost of yoga class.
2 lattes.
Yeah.
It's less than Netflix, and I wanted it to be something.
And there's 200 plus, 5 to 15 minutes, so super digestible. I think that's
and I give
really
you a
great
menu.
offering.
I give you a menu every week, so you don't even have to think about what you want to do. I mean, you can kind of peruse and see what you need in the moment. You literally just type in a feeling and something will pop up for it.
Like if you're like, I'm stuck in anger, or I'm stuck in sadness, or I'm stuck in jealousy, or whatever.
Literally. Yeah.
Fun. Cool. I want to try the membership.
Yeah. I love her. It's my baby. It's something that I wanted to make this work accessible. I'm actually in the process of redoing a lot of the videos. As I said, I started 5 years ago, and I look at some of the old videos and I'm like, who is she? Oh my God. And so I'm just redoing some of the older content to feel more updated with my embodiment now. And I just love it. It's something that I think is really needed. And I wanted to make it accessible and easily integratable into your day-to-day life.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. All right. So how else can people find you? We've got StevieWright.com, right? Is that the website? And then do you have any other social media handles you want to share?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram, Stevie L Wright _ I respond to all my DMs. I love connecting with people over there. I also love Instagram in general. I love posting. It's like I like making reels. It's just a place I know.
Yeah, can you stamp some of that over here? Because we really don't.
We'll have all of Stevie's links on the website. Just go to sexreimagined.com, click podcast, find her episode, and we'll make sure you get in touch with her. Thank you so much, Stevie. What a pleasure to meet you and have you on the show.
Thanks so much for having me. This was awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, friends, lovers, we are not done with the show. The dish is coming up, so stay tuned.
Now, our favorite part, the dish.
Breathwork for better sex. What a pleasurable way to bring more healing and more energy and vitality into your body for better sex.
Yeah, in this case, we didn't really talk about better sex. Maybe that's what you and I should dive into. This really felt like breath work for better partnership, breath work for being embodied, breath work for getting out of stuck places so that you can have better sex, but not many techniques on using breath work during sex. What do you want to say about that?
Well, I do want to say that I have had some of the most expansive, phenomenal orgasms of my life due to the tantric breathwork that we teach and utilize, and also have seen so many clients and lovers go to these places that they didn't even know their bodies were capable of going to. And I think that's one of the coolest things about all breathwork, really, is you get to experience places and things in your body that you didn't know were possible. Maybe you've read about them or seen them in a movie or something, but you start to get to these higher levels of consciousness through the breath work. It's something that for me really opens up the takes me out of I am a woman, I am Willow, this is who I am, the construct and the sort of ego mind, and opens me up to the greater experience of just being one with the universe. So I feel sort of my edges dissolve and more connected to God energy.
Yeah, I feel like breath work during sex can be very powerful in a couple different categories. One is it is instrumental in helping men with ejaculatory control and having more choice over when they choose to ejaculate.
For sure.
Two, I think it's so essential for helping women. So many women will relate to, God, I get so close and then my orgasm disappears. and it's so disappointing. It
'Cause
feels
they're
like
holding their breath.
it's
Yeah.
that elusive clitoral orgasm. In fact, I have a free breath technique. If you go to moreloveworks.com/MLW free gift, or you can just go to the homepage of More Love Works, you'll click on free gift. It's a whole thing on how to never miss another clitoral orgasm again. And it's the magic is all about the breath. It's like we do this one thing and every woman is making the same mistake, and it's so simple to correct, and it's all breath work. And it's not, exhausting breathing like
No,
you just
it's
ran a
fun.
marathon. It's
Yeah.
simple, and it
Pleasurable.
brings you
Easy.
into the erotic, and it sounds delicious and sexy. And there's so many like bio cues for your partner to know that they're on the right track. I mean, breath combined with sound creates this biofeedback between partners that lets them know, wow, we're both headed in the right direction. I'm loving all this sensation, and it deepens your sensation. It actually brings you more intensity to your
Mhm.
pleasure. It allows your system to feel the sensuality that is
Mhm.
possible when we aren't breathing, or we're breathing shallowly, or worse, we're holding our breath. It short circuits the sexual energy
Right.
from oscillating and moving through your system. And it is like, and everyone's doing it. I mean, you watch a man ejaculate and he contracts his whole
He
body,
goes into
his neck
total
gets tight,
freeze. His
his
butt
butt
tightens.
gets tight, his
Yeah.
arms get tight, and his face gets tight.
Yeah. Yeah.
As he stops breathing and then
Yeah.
tries to have an explosive orgasm, it's like you're leaving so much pleasure on the table
It's so
when you're not
fascinating.
breathing and sounding.
It's so fascinating because I feel like that like tightening and contractive kind of orgasm that so many bodies have become like addicted to. Like the physical body doesn't know how to have an orgasm without all that contraction and tightness based on the innate shame around it. Like keep it quiet, tighten
Right?
it down, all of that. And it can be such a oh god, it can be so hard to like relax the booty and like to
Right.
open the throat and to make some sound when you've never done it before. It can be just like this, it can feel so awkward and
And
weird. I mean,
exposing, yeah, like,
exposing,
or
yeah.
embarrassing. I think,
I've
I think there's something to that. It's like that suppression. You like grip to sort of
Mhm.
like suppress a more natural expression. But I also think
Yeah.
another theory is sometimes like that contraction happens, that tightness, because it's getting ready to launch. It's like it
Yeah.
cools
I
down in the
mean,
system, and you kind of contract so that because it's about to explode.
yeah, and really orgasm is like a dance between contraction and expansion,
Yeah.
right? It is this point in which yin and yang meet, which is why we call it the la petite mort, the tiny death, this moment where yin and yang are in full emergence, yin being contraction and yang being expansion, and when you're in full emergence like that, I mean, at the moment of orgasm, we don't have any sense of being male or female, or I'm this person or I'm that person. We don't have a sense of our ego at that moment. And we also don't have that at the moment that we die. And so that's why, the Tao always likens these orgasmic moments to the moment of being in full union, in full oneness. And I think that's a really beautiful experience that I like to prolong. That's why prolonging those orgasms, because in that spaciousness, there's so much more possibility.
Yeah.
Which is one of the fun things to play with in sex magic. But one thing I want to say about, all the different Taoist breath practices and tantric, they're so synonymous. They're so one and the same. Is like, I love bringing arousal, chi, or orgasmic energy to different places in my body.
Right.
Like, so that it's not all pooled right between the legs. I
That's
like to bring
right.
it up to the back of the heart. I like to bring it up to the pineal gland and the brain.
Make it full body, baby.
I like to send it out to my fingertips. It's like, can I feel what I'm feeling in my yoni and my pinky finger? It's just fun to like explore and play. And you got to have breath on board in order to move. Like, it's almost like breath is the vehicle for moving energy.
1,000%, 1,000%. It's like, that's why when we stop breathing or we're breathing shallowly, it short circuits the energy and we
Yeah.
can't have those big experiences. Where when we tune into relaxing the body, and you have to be able to relax in order to reach pleasure. Like, in order for a woman to turn off her brain enough to enjoy sex, there has to be some sort of relaxation factor. Otherwise, it's just going to be tense. It's just going to be in her head. So,
Yeah.
like, breathing and relaxation go hand in hand. I mean, that's
Mhm.
how you get there. So if
Mhm.
you can just slow down your breathing and realizing that when you slow down your breathing, you're actually engaging breath control. And that's what expands the length of the pleasure. As the arousal gets more intense, your excitement gets more like, now you're kind of trying to control your breath actually gets harder because your arousal starts to, the flames are licking up higher
It
and higher.
starts to take over.
Yeah, so it's like, it's awesome when you've got control over your breath, then those flames feel like undulations licking up your body because you're even in these peak levels of arousal, you're using that power to like stretch out that breath like it were taffy on the inhale and the exhale. And then you can kind of feel the undulation in a much more powerful way. And it's amazing when someone has an orgasm for the first time and their body is relaxed. Like, instead of squeezing your ass when you have an orgasm, you relax your ass, you relax your legs, you don't let your neck and your jaw get tight. It's a whole different animal. It's a totally different
Yeah,
orgasm.
that's exactly what having that experience that you've never had before. And it builds this level of confidence inside of you
Yeah.
that's like, wow, I can do that. Like, I didn't
Yeah.
know I could do that. I've never had that experience before. It's so liberating and so fun to help people walk into that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like giving someone ice cream for the first time. Like, look, you can have all
Well,
this flavor.
I think so too. Like, when you just concentrate on your own body building that skill, then your mirror neurons are helping to regulate someone
For
else's nervous
sure.
system when they're making love to you.
Yeah.
So by you sort of expanding into this, you're also, even non-verbally, showing somebody else's body how to do it too.
Yeah.
And I really give credit to that being a part of my journey. I remember my first tantric lover at fucking 19 years old, and
Yeah.
him breathing. It's like, it's so etched in my mind. The first time I met him, and he gave me this giant bear hug, and he literally inhaled me
Breathed
like he
you
was
in.
breathing my essence into his soul, and I felt my essence go right into him. And we had like this merge, and it was so, like, it's so crystallized in my mind, and it's such a reflection of how sex transformed for me
Mhm.
because of his ability to be in his body and to move his breath. I didn't know that there was anything intentional going on. It wasn't until we broke up and I read the Tantra book he owned that
Right.
I went, oh my God, there's a method to this madness.
Yeah.
So, look, people, don't wait to study tantric sex because you're going to get so many great pieces of why breath makes you a masterful lover. It's so simple and anyone can do it. And
Mhm.
it's so profound. It's not nearly as woo woo as you can imagine. It's simple.
It's very basic human nature, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this
All
was
right.
fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Much love, y'all.
Toodaloo.
Ciao.
Thanks for tuning in. This episode was hosted by Tantric Sex Master Coach and Positive Psychology Facilitator Leah Piper, as well as by Chinese and Functional Medicine Doctor and Taoist Sexology Teacher Dr. Willow Brown. Don't forget, your comments, likes, subscribes, and suggestions matter. Let's realize this new world together.
Ladies, do you want to explore your sexuality and experience true sexual healing?
The Vaginal Orgasms Masterclass teaches you and your partners how to unlock your full sexual potential and awaken the G-spot, the sacred spot, and the cervix for an unforgettable sexual experience. Would learning how to finally surrender and release grief, fear, and uncertainty benefit your outlook on life, love, and relationships? We certainly think so. Common misconceptions of the G-spot, including its anatomy and function as an erogenous zone, will be covered in this course.
Plus, we're going to teach you 7 different massage strokes for the G-spot that dissolve blocked energy and increase your pleasure tenfold.
We're going to teach you how to locate the sacred spot and the best methods to stimulate it for maximum pleasure.
And you're going to learn about cervical orgasm techniques, which are the most powerful and also often elusive style of climaxing. You know, this class is primarily geared toward women, but men have taken it as well and learned so much about how to pleasure their partners.
So get ready for multiple O's, my friends. And you can get all of that at sexreimagined.com/female masterclass. And for being a listener of the show, we've got a beautiful coupon code for you. It is 20% off this course. Just type in podcast20, that's all caps, podcast20, and get yourself a great deal on this on-demand course.